Today on the Outfitter Minute, I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm just going to share a story with you guys, something that happened in deer camp this fall. Y'all stick around, you're going to want to hear it. Guys, I just got to share a story with you that happened at deer camp this year. I don't know who needs to hear this story. It's been laid on me, on my heart. God's put it on me that I need to share this story, that somebody out there needs to hear it. So I'm going to try to share it with you the best I can. Y'all just stick with me and kind of follow along. I'll try to explain it best I can. We had a group of guys from Virginia that came to hunt with us this fall. They actually came the second week of season. There was 5 of those guys, and they had their book plan. They had their trip planned for quite a while with us, and it comes up about 3 or 4 weeks before time for their hunt to start, and I get a text message from the guy I'd been talking with, and he says one of the guys has had some really bad luck, said that his son had been killed in a motorcycle accident. Said he didn't know if he was going to be able to come or not. Want to know what they could do. I said, look, whatever we need to do, we'll work it out. Don't worry. I said, but if he can come, you know, it may be good for him, whatever. And anyhow, it works around, and they talked to the man, and finally convinced him that, you know, it'd be good for him to come on the hunting trip and get away for a little while and take his mind off things. In fact, the man's wife actually insisted that he goes. So I said all that to get to this. He comes to camp, and we do our normal Sunday evening meeting. We assign everybody a stand where they're going to go, and we'll just say this guy's name is CD, just for reference. And CD draws his stand, and he gets a stand we call the shed stump. Now, if you've ever been an outfitter, and most people that have several stands, they name their stands. They have their stands named. It's just easier to keep up with. Okay, so CD, he draws the shed stump, and he goes and he hunts this place. And the first day he hunts it, and he comes back and he says, you know, he said, I like that stand. He said, but I saw a lot of deer activity over on the other hill from where I am. He said, is it possible that I could go over on that hill? And I said, yeah, in fact, I have another stand on that hill. I said, told him where it was at, told him exactly where to go. So CD comes, he goes the next day. He's a 5-day hunt. He goes the next day, he goes over on the other hill, he finds the stand, he gets in it. We never, not one time, mentioned the name of this stand, what we call this stand, okay? He goes, he hunts the stand. He says, you know, he said, I love that stand. He said, it just feels good. He's seeing deer. He's seeing big bucks every time he goes. He said, but they're just a little bit out of range. He said, can I take a climbing stand and move just a little bit, 40 yards down the woods? He said, I don't want to go far. He said, in fact, I'll be within sight of this other stand. He said, but I just want to move a little bit closer to where they've been being. I said, that's fine. So we get him hooked up with a climbing stand. He goes over. He hunts the next 3 days out of the climbing stand. Every day he goes in there, he's seeing big bucks. He's seeing lots of big bucks, not just one buck, not just one here and there. He's seeing 2 or 3 every time he goes in there and sits. Things just aren't quite working out where he can get a shot. Now, here's where it starts to get interesting. And for any of y'all that don't believe things happen for a reason, or that don't believe in God, here's you just pay real close attention to this next part that I'm telling you. Keep in mind now, this man's here 3 weeks ago. He's lost his son in a motorcycle accident. Him and his son were really close. They were hunting buddies. They did everything together. So he goes and he's hunting. It's his last evening hunt. He goes to the climbing stand. He climbs up. Keep in mind now, he's still in sight of the ladder stand that he moved to. We never mentioned the name of the stand. I just said, yeah, there's another stand on that hill. You guys, you go over there and hunt that stand. So he goes and he hunts. He gets up in the climbing stand. Not long at all, a nice buck comes out, really nice buck. He said it was a really, really nice buck. He shoots at this deer, misses it completely misses. Okay, he's feeling down the dumps. He kind of dragging his head a little bit. 30 minutes later, another really nice buck comes out, and he draws back on it, and he just absolutely drills it. You know, that's a blessing in itself. So we get him back to camp, and we go recover his deer. We get it back to camp, and we're all standing around. Now, CD, the guy that has killed this deer, is in the bunkhouse. He's not out here. And we start talking to his friends that had came. Come to find out, CD's son's name that had gotten killed in a motorcycle wreck was Jesse. Now keep that in mind. The stand that I sent him to on the other side of the ridge, we had never mentioned it before. The name of that stand, we call it the Jesse stand, because Jesse Artrip, that used to work for me, put the stand up. So we just named it the Jesse stand. Now, that in itself makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck. CD comes out. We start talking to CD. And before we ever tell CD the name of this stand, he starts telling us a story of how him and his son used to always hunt together. And they had a tradition. On the last evening of their hunt, they always sat close to each other where they could see each other when they went hunting. Now, think CD is in a climbing stand 40 yards from the Jesse stand on his last evening. He misses one big buck and he hits the second big buck that comes out. Now, you can't tell me that God didn't have a part in that. You can't tell me that CD wasn't sent to Trophy Room Adventures on purpose. Everything in life happens for a reason. And I will, to the end of my days, believe that God put his hand on us and on CD as a way to comfort him. It's amazing the things that happen if we'll just open our eyes and pay attention to what's around us. We didn't know this guy from Adam until he showed up at our place. He comes, he's lost a son named Jesse. He ends up hunting in the patch of woods, the only patch of woods, we've got 3,000 acres. That's the only patch of woods around anywhere that has anything to do with Jesse. It's got a stand in it that named Jesse Stand. He hunts the stand, seeing plenty of deer, just can't make it happen. Moves a little bit away, hunts the final evening with the tradition of him and his son always hunting within sight of each other. He's hunting in sight of the Jesse stand and harvests this deer. That's an amazing story. I don't care who you are, and I want to thank these guys from Virginia, and I want to thank everyone that had any part in this for getting him here. There's a reason that we'll never know the reason probably for his son being taken, but there's definitely a reason for him being on this hunt with us at Trophy Room Adventures. And anybody that can't see that, then I don't know, you need to really open your eyes and look at things, and maybe search your heart and see if you can't figure out what's going on. But I'm not a preacher. Lord knows I'm far from that. I'm just an outfitter that tries to do right, tries to do things the right way. And open your eyes, people. Look around you. If you don't believe there's a God up there controlling everything that happens here, you're wrong. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Incredible stories. Y'all got any incredible stories like that? I'd love to hear them. It's an amazing thing, and we just want to give God the glory for everything that we do, and we ask that He keeps His hand on TRA and guides us and directs us into what He would have us do. And we ask for Him to continue blessing us with stories and miracles like what has happened with this guy. Thank you guys for listening to me. It was just on my heart that I needed to share that with you, and I got it done, and hopefully it helps somebody. I don't know how. Like I said, it was just beating on me to get that out there and to share this story. So if any of y'all would like to talk about it, or like I said, if you've got a story like this that you'd love to share with us, we'd love to hear it. So Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Outfitter Minute.